Welcome to another series of our bariatric cooking classes. Today we'll be making Asian lettuce wraps. I love this recipe because it is so simple to make. It's great. It's a great recipe for a day where maybe plans didn't go accordingly and you don't have a lot of time for cooking, but you want to have a home cooked meal. You can go to the grocery store, get all the ingredients that you need, go home, and this will be done in a matter of minutes. So let me run you by the ingredients that I have and then we'll get started. I have some fresh green onions or scallions. I have 2 here, which I'm gonna slice in a second. I have a 1/4 cup of unsalted peanuts. The reason I grabbed unsalted is because that way we can better control how much sodium, how much salt we add to our recipe. I have 2 garlic cloves that I finely minced. I have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is the less sodium soy sauce. And then I have here 3 tablespoons, very level tablespoons of hoisin sauce. Now, hoisin sauce, you have to be careful. This has a lot of flavor. You don't have to use a lot of it. Depending on the brand that you find, some of these can be very high sodium. This one in particular is the Kikkoman brand. This one was a lot lower sodium. For 2 tablespoons, it's about 500 milligrams, and 2 tablespoons is way more than you would have in 1 serving. So that's why I chose this one. So pay close attention to the nutrition facts label, compare different brands so that you grab one that is lower sodium per serving, okay? I have 1 pound of ground lean turkey meat here. I also have 2 inches of fresh ginger, which we're gonna grate in a minute. All right, so that's all the ingredients. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start by grating the ginger in the fine grater side. So I'm just gonna grate it. Be very careful. You can get super excited going fast doing this and then you get cut. So once you get super close to the tip, then you can just chop it finely. That's perfectly fine. But we want to try and grate as much as we can without cutting our fingers. All right, have that little piece left. Okay, so this last piece of ginger that I have, I'm just gonna mince it, mix it all together and give it a quick mince. All right, and the ginger is ready. All right, now I'm gonna slice the scallions. So what I like to do is try to get all the pieces. You see how some of these are longer than others? I try to chop them so I can then get them all to be the same length. That way it's easier to slice all evenly. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then here we go. You see, I'm just gonna tap them with my knife so they're all level. And I'm just gonna give them a slice as thin as possible. Okay, so all of these scallions are gonna be cooked, but I am going to take some to the side because I like to add some fresh as a topping. I like the freshness of the green onion, but that's absolutely optional. Now we're gonna give the peanuts a rough chop. So I'm gonna put these straight into my cutting board and just gently, so the peanuts don't go flying everywhere, you wanna give them a rough chop. This is gonna give the dish a nice crunchy texture, which is needed because the turkey is soft. The lettuce wrap, of course, is also going to give a crunchy component to the dish, but really everything else is going to be soft on the soft side. So I really like the idea of adding peanuts for some crunch. And again, these are unsalted so that we can better control the sodium, the salt when we add it straight to the turkey in a minute. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. Now that we have all the ingredients prepped, it's time to get that meat cooking. Okay, now the next step is we're going to cook the ground turkey. I have this heat up. It's very, very hot to medium-high heat, okay? That way we can brown the turkey, which that is going to give the turkey right away a lot of really good flavor. So I've got some canola oil here. You can use vegetable oil. I'm just gonna put some in the bottom of the pan so it doesn't stick and helps with the browning. I'm gonna swirl it around because I want every single inch of the pan covered. All right. I have the ground turkey here. I'm just gonna drop it in the pan. And I'm gonna break it up. Let that sear for a minute. The ground turkey has been cooking on this side for about 3 or 4 minutes because I want it to get a nice color on that side. Let's see if that actually happened. If you're not getting good color, it could be one of two reasons. Either the pan is not hot enough or the ground turkey is just too cluttered together. There's not enough space. So if you get a bigger pan, you will be able to have more space for the ground meat to actually get that color. So I'm going to flip it. It got some color here, not so much here. I do feel like this ground turkey is a little bit crowded in this pan. So again, you just grab a little bit larger pan and you should be good to go. So I'm gonna break it up. And now I'm gonna add the remaining ingredients. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. A little bit more pepper. That's to taste. I've got the garlic here. Grated ginger. Soy sauce. And the hoisin sauce. I'm gonna let this ground turkey cook for another couple minutes, maybe 2 to 5 minutes, until it's fully cooked. Okay, now the ground turkey is ready. I'm just gonna give it a quick taste, of course being careful because it's hot, because at this point I can decide whether or not it needs a little bit more salt and pepper. Just a tad more and we're good. Okay, give that a swirl. Now I'm gonna add the last ingredients. The green onions. And the chopped peanuts. Now the ground turkey is ready. Turn the heat off and remove it from the heat. Now that the ground turkey is completely ready to go, I've got my lettuce wrap ready as well. This is Boston bib lettuce, but you can also use romaine lettuce for a lettuce wrap. You just want to make sure that you grab one that has a nice shape to it so that you can easily put the stuffing in and roll it, okay? I also have a food scale here because I also want to demonstrate for those that are really trying to make sure to accurately monitor how many grams of protein you're consuming. I want to make sure I demo that for those that have not done it yet. So I have an empty dish here. I've got my scale. I'm going to turn it on and make sure that it's in ounces. Let's say if at this point I want to try to consume 3 ounces of meat, then I'm going to put the plate on the scale and tare it. It's tared. I have the ground turkey, and I am going to pour some in the plate until I have 3 ounces, 2 to 3 ounces. So that's 2. That's exactly 3. Perfect. So that seems like a lot for this piece of lettuce. So let's see how that goes. I may not add all of it in there depending on how full it gets. So I'm just gonna, my idea is that I am going to roll it this way because you see this middle, this skeleton section here, this is really crunchy. If I try to roll it this way, it's just gonna break and it's gonna cause holes on my lettuce wrap, and that's not gonna be fun at all. I am going to place the ground turkey right in the middle. I think I can get it all in there. I mean, if it becomes kind of messy, that's okay. All right. And I also have the leftover sliced scallions that I said I wanted to leave on the side because I like the taste and the bite of the raw scallion. But again, this is completely up to you. And this was not part of the recipe originally, but I thought that for additional crunch, some julienne carrots would add really nice texture to this lettuce wrap. So I'm gonna place a few in the top. And now I'm going to roll this. Okay. So I'm going to use my hands and I'll just wash them right after. Get that in there. And then I'm going to make sure that the left side is rolled in. Get that in there. And roll it forward. So I am going to eat this from this side, and just make sure that you serve this with a spoon so anything that falls over you can just eat afterwards. All right, so that's pretty much it. You have yourself a nice Asian lettuce wrap. Hope you enjoy.